How would you like guaranteed beautiful and golden skin and only a couple of tans? Slogans like this are what indoor tanning salons promise to create, a beautiful tan in only a few sessions. The result from this tan is dark and clear skin that makes a person feel and look better. No wonder this craze is popular. Who wouldn't want to look like they just came back from the Caribbean with beautiful skin? This is obviously a personal opinion, but this new habit of tanning indoors has become a growing concern. Although many people are aware of the potential risks that coincide with using tanning beds, many overlook these risks because of self-image or the media. Today I'm going to explain what indoor tanning is and the amount of people that do it. We will then talk about the health risks that come along with it, and we'll end by discussing various steps people can take to help protect themselves against the potential outcomes of tanning. I'll begin by telling you about what indoor tanning is and how many people do it. By definition, tanning is a browning or darkening of the skin as by exposure to the sun. This can be done by either tanning indoors or outdoors. A tanning bed is a device that emits ultraviolet radiation to produce an enhancing tan. Regular tanning beds use several fluorescent lamps that have phosphor blends designed to emit UV in a range that is somewhat similar to the sun. But UV rays damage skin no matter where they come from. The most dangerous types of UV rays can actually change the DNA in cells, which is what experts believe cause most skin cancers. Weaker UV rays, though less likely to cause cancer, are linked to long-term skin damage, including wrinkles and change in texture. It is believed that approximately 30 million Americans are tanning indoors in around 25,000 tanning salons nationwide. 35% of American adults, 59% of college students, and 17% of teens have reported using a tanning bed in their lifetime. Nearly 70% of tanning salon patrons are Caucasian girls and young women. The rising popularity of tanning beds came about a few decades ago when the media and society started emphasizing that bronze skin was in. A variety of people use tanning beds, both men and women, and for a variety of reasons. Some use them as a weekly or daily routine. Others use them seasonally when it's winter and they need a nice tan. And then there are event tanners who go before an event like prom, wedding, or a vacation. I'm sure you can tell that the use of tanning beds is a big thing for Americans in this day and age. Due to this, many people are now discovering the health risks that come about from the frequent use. Many people may see tanning as a great way to make themselves feel healthier and more confident, but it does have great risks. The dark side of tanning is daunting and has many potential health risks. The two major dangers from indoor tanning are melanoma and premature aging. The United States Department of Health and Human Services and the World Health Organization's International Agency of Research on Cancer panel have declared ultraviolet radiation from the sun and artificial sources, such as tanning beds and sun lamps, to be known carcinogens or cancer-causing substances. Research indicates that UV light from the sun and tanning beds can both cause melanoma and increase risk of benign moles having the potential to progress into melanoma. Melanoma is treatable if caught early, but because it's likely to spread to other parts of the body, it is very dangerous and potentially fatal. Evidence from multiple studies have shown that exposure to UV radiation from indoor tanning devices is associated with an increased risk of melanoma and non-melanoma skin cancer, including squamous cell carcinoma and basal cell carcinoma. Researchers estimate that indoor tanning may cause more than 400,000 cases of skin cancer in the U.S. each year. Using indoor tanning beds before the age of 35 can increase your risk of melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, by 59%. This risk increases with each use. Women younger than 30 are 6 times more likely to develop melanoma if they tan indoors. Studies have also shown that exposure to UV radiation during indoor tanning damages the DNA in the skin cells. Excessive exposure to UV radiation during indoor tanning can lead to premature skin aging, immune suppression, and eye damage, including cataracts and ocular melanoma. A recent search estimated that 3,234 injuries related to indoor tanning, including burns, loss of consciousness, and eye injuries, were treated in U.S. hospitals' emergency departments every year from 2003 to 2012. As many of you have probably heard, there are many false statements that have been said about tanning. Now that they have been proven wrong, you can further your ways to help protect yourself. There are many ways in which an individual can protect themselves against the dangers that come with indoor tanning. To take steps in the right direction, in May of 2014, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration took a stand and issued new regulations strengthening warnings for indoor tanning devices. These regulations include a strong recommendation against the use of tanning beds by minors under the age of 18, and labeling that clearly informs users about the risks of using tanning beds and warns frequent users of sun lamps to be regularly screened for skin cancer. In December of 2015, the FDA proposed an age restriction on indoor tanning for minors for minors under the age of 18, as well as for risk acknowledgement form that all adults must sign before using indoor tanning devices. California, Illinois, Louisiana, Minnesota, Nevada, Vermont, and many other states have passed laws that prohibit minors from using the indoor tanning devices while being under the age of 18. Meanwhile, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania have passed legislation banning minors under the age of 17 from using tanning devices. Some of the tanning myths that have been floating around include a tan that acts as the body's natural protection against sunburn, the idea that tanning gives people a healthy glow, and the indoor tanning is safe because you control the level of exposure to UV rays. The truths of these myths are as followed. A tan is actually the body's response to injury from UV rays, thus showing that damage has been done. Having a tan does little to protect yourself from future exposure. Whether tanning or burning, you are exposing yourself to harmful UV rays that damage your skin, not at all giving a healthy look to it. And lastly, tanning indoors still exposes you to the same intense UV rays, increasing the risk for skin damage. To protect yourself in the best possible ways, you should cover up when you are out in the sun, wear clothing or a hat that protects as much skin as possible, and use sunglasses that blocks at least 99% of UV light. Using sunscreen with broad spectrum and an SPF of at least 30 and reapplying every 2 hours, as well as after swimming, is also beneficial. If neither of those are possible, seeking shade or limiting your direct sunlight exposure when the UV rays are strongest will also help. And of course, avoiding tanning beds and sun lamps will decrease the chances of serious long-term damage to skin. There are many long-term effects to indoor tanning that are harmful to a person, but most people do not understand this because of the short-term effects that are so satisfying. Even one indoor tanning session can increase a user's risk of developing squamous cell carcinoma by 67% and basal cell carcinoma by 29%. But it is very important to understand that all tanning, whether it be indoors or out, will damage the skin. And there is much more to just laying in a bed and coming out with a tan. The tanning process is complicated and it's a progression that affects more than just your skin. It affects your DNA also. So if being exposed to ultraviolet light is not an option, then there are many safe alternatives to having that beautiful dark skin. Bronzing powder, self-tanning creams, and sprays offer a golden glow without the harmful UV waves from indoor tanning.